strong enough teams on this map to at least give me judgment and hope that they can stretch it to a third, that they can at least take Nuke.
Yeah, I mean, I can see in that particular respect. I mean, there are certainly worse maps to have as your home territory against a team like Bait. Just the fact that Nuke is the lowest played map and the lowest won map in the pool by Bait is already a statistical advantage when you're talking about Rush B, who have the highest win rate and the highest play rate on the contrary for their own 3-month record. So it does feel like at least map 1 could feel at least the one strong point for the Rush B side. But as you say, it's about stretching it to 3 maps, not about taking it to a best-of-3 victory for this Rush B side per se.
Of course it is, and looking at the Nuke for Bait, they probably would have felt as if they could have 2-0'd a few of the series in ECL. I'm looking at that Zero Tenacity result, a game that we casted about a month ago, that when all rounds in regulation got pushed in towards overtime, they couldn't close out there. The next game against Iberian Soul, similar conversation, all rounds of regulation, ended up going to OT, and they lost out again. They got stomped by Spirit Academy about 5 weeks ago on Nuke. So they've played Nuke in 3 out of 4 best-of-3s in this group stage, and every single time it's ended up being a loss. So I'm sure Kinky and the boys here at Rush B will look at it and say, okay, it's been a rough day. It's been a lot of officials. Let's come in, let's start 1-0, and let's just hope that we can cause a bit of an upset. Let's see if we can make it uncomfortable for the favorites, because for Bait, historically, this has been a struggling circuit for them. They've always been rough in the group stages. The last 2 seasons back-to-back, they placed 3rd. The season before that, they placed 5th. And every time, they've been knocked out in the 2nd stage because you're going into the medium group rather than the high group and getting a good seeding trying to move into the playoffs. And
it's competition as well that qualifies you to Pro League. It's like you're talking about Bait being just a few steps off, like fingertips away from claiming a top-end tournament, which, look, that might still work towards their favour. Well, they might still have a spot when it comes to how the VRS rankings are going to work out in the near future. But for them, like the fact that they've been so close towards winning this title, to winning this competition, it feels like right now should be their time. And I have to say that for Bait, in terms of a long-term goal, I feel like winning ECL should be right within their sights. But got to get through Rush B first, and for me, I'm going to pick into them to win this series. I think that Rush B can take Nuke, but I'm going to go Bait for 2-1.
Yeah, I am as well. I'd like to just see for Rush B some of the key individuals. You've got Cairo on the AWP. You've got a strong rifler in Texi. One player that has been mentioned a lot in Tier 2, and probably towards the latter part of last year, was Nota. An absolute farming rifler who was just stellar on this Rush B organization. Ended up getting the call up to go over to Amcal. What a lot of people don't know, Jay, is that Nota and Texi are twin brothers. So it's a shame that that's been split apart and that he can't continue his journey with his brother, and instead he's been thrown towards the higher end of Tier 2 while his brother's been left here.
What is it with like family relations in Counter-Strike? Like, it doesn't feel like a family game per se, but there's so many different connections between of blood